Hey guys, it's Chubbs. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how you sign up to queue using the new F3 Nation app. So first, you can really do this from any channel. We're going to pick Calendar, and if you're not a part of Calendar, you might want to join that channel as well because that shows the graphic for the next 2 weeks of who's signed up to queue across the entire region. But there's a button here that you can click to open the calendar. You can also go into the message and type a /calendar, and you can open F3 calendar here. These two things are the same thing. One other way you can do it is there's a button here to search. You can type calendar, and that will also bring it up here. So we'll open this calendar up, and then what you'll do is you will find where you want to queue. So there's a bunch of all the openings and who's signed up is listed down here. There's a couple of options here at the top. You can filter it by a specific AO. You can filter it by a specific event type like rucking or beatdown. If you've got something that's way out in the future that you want to grab, like maybe a birthday or your F3 anniversary, you can put in a date here. This only goes down so far, I think like a couple weeks, maybe a month. So that's a way that you can get further out. There's a couple of options here to show only the open queue slots, which is probably pretty helpful. If you're signing up to queue, then it's going to take out anything where somebody's already signed up, and it does take a second there for it to update. This might be helpful as well. If you've signed up to queue for several things, you can click on this and it will show you only the things that you've signed up to queue. So let me just grab one here randomly. So we'll click on this more button and then we'll say take queue, and we'll give it a second here and it will update. Now it shows that I've got the queue. So to do your pre-blast, you'll click on more again and then edit pre-blast. And then you'll fill out, what you want to name it, all this information, just like a typical pre-blast. And then you can choose here to send it right now, or you can schedule it to send it a day before the event, and this is in the settings. This will send it at noon the day before the event. Also, if you've accidentally taken a queue or you need to release one, this is also where you take yourself off the queue. So I'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you would click update and then send it off. And now you can see nobody's assigned to it. We can close this, and that's how you sign up to queue. Hey, it's Chubbs again. Okay, I wanted to go over some exceptions to signing up to queue, like Blackops. So Blackops are by design something that's not a scheduled event. So you can't sign up to queue for that in the calendar because it's not there. So the way that you do a Blackops event is you would do a pre-blast. So you do /pre-blast here, and you got create pre-blast or pre-blast. These are the same things. You can also, just like the calendar, you can search for pre-blast here and create a pre-blast. So we'll open that up. It's going to bring up this screen. It's going to show you what you're signed up to queue for already. So this is a way you could get to do the pre-blast for this if you wanted to, instead of going to the calendar and clicking on the more button. Or it's trying to encourage you, if this is an event that is already on the calendar, do it this way. But this isn't. We're doing a Black Ops, so this is a new unscheduled event. So we'll click on this button, and it's going to warn you again, make sure that this isn't something that's already scheduled, because this is the wrong way to sign up for something that's already scheduled. We'll say, yes, I'm sure. And then you're going to get the pre-blast form to fill out. So if this is a Black Ops that's not at a AO that currently exists, like it's some location that we're looking at maybe putting an AO, or maybe you're meeting up on the trail somewhere that's not an AO, you would click on this and select First F Black Ops. If it is at an AO, but it's just an unscheduled time, then pick that AO. For this one, we're just going to pick First F Black Ops. You won't have a location for this because none of these locations are in the First F Black Ops AO, so just you can leave that blank. For the event type, you'll pick, what that is. If that's a boot camp, beatdown, or a ruck. Some of these other things are just defaults that the app has that we don't typically use. For the event tag, what I want us to do is click this Black Ops button so that gets tagged on the event. So it'll look like that. You put the date, start time, end time, etc. You can name the event. You can give us, type in a description of what you're doing. Probably these options are just going to be dependent on what you're doing. You can hide it from the map and regions page if you want to. Most of this stuff, I'm going to guess you're not going to need to check, so you can probably just ignore this. If you're ever unsure about any of this stuff, just ask me and we'll figure it out together. I'll put a title in here that just says, I'll put a title in here that says test event, and we'll pick a date of today. I'm going to remove this in just a second. So something like that, and then you would click submit. Oh, sorry, I guess you do have to pick this. Then submit. And then that should now show up on the calendar. So we'll go into the calendar here and take a look. And it's right here. So first F, Blackops, Bootcamp, Chubbs. So that's how you would create a Black Ops event. Hey guys, it's Chubbs again. I wanted to show you right quick how you fill out Backblast. First off, I'm doing this in our test region for the F3 Nation app, so this isn't going to have any of our information in there, but it's the same process. So this is what the pre-blast would look like once you've put out there and signed up to queue, and you would just come here and there's a fill Backblast button, so you'd click on that. And then this is pretty straightforward and similar to what we've been doing. You would upload a picture if you want to here. By default, it is going to pick up anybody that HC'd to your pre-blast and put them in the PAX list. So you would need to make sure that those people that HC'd showed up, uncheck them if they didn't, and then add anybody that didn't HC here. So once you've got that done, I'm just going to go through the most common things. There's a few other things here that most people aren't going to use, but if you are doing downrange stuff, you can do things here. You would list the FNGs here, count here, then same basic thing here. You wouldn't really do anything here. You can either send it at this time or you could save it and send it later. I think that will default to noon. Our Backblast actually has another option down here, I believe, for temperature, so you can put what the temperature was at the workout. But yeah, that's about it. Then you would click submit and it would post, and that's all there is to that. Hey guys, it's Chubbs again. I'm going to show you how you update your user settings, which are what show up in the PAX Vault. So you can either start here and type settings, and then you'll open F3 Nation settings or this one. These are the same things. You can also search and do settings and you'll get the same thing. So we'll open that up, and then you won't see all of this information. You'll probably see user settings and emergency info access. So we'll click on user settings first here, and then this is going to show your user settings for what shows up in the PAX Vault. So by default, this should pull in your Slack information, but if you're in multiple instances of Slack, like a downrange Slack or the F3 Nation Slack, it may pull in the information you had for that. So this is a way for you to override that so it shows this in the PAX Vault. Your home region should be set to Wichita. If it's not, you can override it here. Your start date should be correct. If it's not, you can also override it here. This button takes you to the PAX Vault, so you can look at statistics for yourself, the region, AOs, etc. This is the image that will show in the PAX Vault. You can override that here by uploading a new file. Probably one of the more important things is the emergency contact information down here. This is where you can put a name for an emergency contact, phone number, any notes, medical information maybe you want to put in here. This button, by default, only people in our Slack instance can search for other people in our Slack instance from an emergency information standpoint. If you click this button, then anybody in any F3 region that's using the F3 Nation app can search for you. So this might be helpful if you post downrange a lot. You can come in here and turn this on and off at will as well. So if you know you're going to be posting somewhere downrange and you want to turn that on, you can. So that's where you fill out all this information, and then you would click submit up here. Let's go back into settings again, and I'll show you the emergency information access here. So if you click on this button, this form allows you to search for emergency information for one of the PAX. By default, only PAX in you're only going to find PAX in your region. Also, when you search for somebody, that user gets notified via email that you looked at their information. So I'll just show you how we look for somebody. So I can look for myself here, and then that will pull up the information. I don't have anything in there right now, but this would be where you showed that. And then I will get an email that says that you searched for that. So that's how you update emergency information and also search for emergency information. Hey guys, it's Chubbs again. Wanted to show you a little bit of the PAX Vault. So there's a few different ways to get to it. From within Slack, you could go to settings here and open F3 Nation settings, then click on user settings, and there is a My Stats button here. You can click on that. That's going to open the vault up, and by default it's going to go right to your statistics here, so you can see a bunch of different information here. I won't go into a lot of this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The other way that you could get into this is by just opening up a browser and going to paxvault.f3nation.com. They do ask you to sign in. That's more to keep bots and such out of there from scraping information. So you would click sign in. It typically, I've already signed in, so it's got a cookie for that, but typically it would ask you for your email address, and you would just use whatever email address you signed up with Slack for, and then it will send you an email, and you can click on the link there, and then it will come back in here. So from here, you can click on find region or PAX. We'll just search for the Wichita region here. We'll click on it here. And then this gives you an overview of the whole region. There's like a leaderboard here. If you keep scrolling down, Cotter list. So this is people who haven't showed up in a little while. It looks like it defaults maybe to 15 days that you haven't posted, and you get on this list. I won't shame anybody here. There's also, it shows upcoming events here. So you can see what queues are open from inside here as well. Recent events, stuff that is posted recently, you can click on view details here, and this will show you basically the backblast of all the information there. So that's kind of cool. There are some filters down here at the bottom. Whoops. You can set some different options here. Filter by AO, how long you want it to look at, a bunch of different things. This is something, the PAX Vault is something that they're constantly updating and adding more features and such too. So, come back here and check this out, and they'll have added more stats and things like that. So that's a basic overview of the PAX Vault.